Alright, hey guys, it's Carolyn from All Things Effie, and as you can see right here, this isn't a very bad nick, but I did get a little nick because I was just getting carried away, which I'm sure I've seen so many people do this. So even though this isn't a big one, I'm going to show you my method for repairing, because yeah, it's just a necessary evil of tufting for the most part. So I use these birch handicraft needles. I actually really only use the curved mattress needle. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the tufting fabric to actually reweave this little spot. So if it's a bigger spot, that's going to take quite a while, but if it's a smaller spot, it won't take that long. So let's grab these needles. I mean, you could use any sewing needle pretty much, but I find this one works really well for just, yeah, making it just easy to do it from the one side. So you're just going to take a piece of your tufting cloth from the side, and you're going to just, oops, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to I might need a threader because this stuff is really fuzzy. Ordinary tufting cloth isn't that fuzzy. Okay. I don't know if that's gonna, oh, maybe? Yes. Okay, so my threader works for my tufting gun. That's awesome. And thread it through. And oops. Probably would be better to use an actual threader, but that's okay. Probably not a lot of you have that on hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to knot one end. So I'm not going to like set it up like a sewing needle, how you usually would. I'm just going to knot it, and then I'm just going to put it like that. And you can knot the other end too if you just want to make sure it's not going to fall out of your needle. It's just more fidgety stuff to do, but it's up to you. And I mean, if you're doing commissions, you really should be incorporating the time it takes for these kinds of silly things that can happen. So make sure you're getting paid an hourly rate for your rug that you feel is appropriate. You know, if you think about what the minimum wage is, rugs would probably be way too expensive, but you know, like at least $10 an hour for like what you're doing. You know, value yourself as an artist. Okay, so now I'm just going to kind of weave through the weave until I get to there. Oh, because I knotted that end. So actually probably shouldn't knot this end, sorry. That was my bad. I knew there was a reason why I didn't do that usually. Okay. And we're just going to pull. Oh, then I pulled it out. This is not, I'm not used to working with this cloth, and it's very, very fuzzy and fidgety. This is not our typical gray tufting cloth. This was a sample I was given from my supplier, and I really don't like it. I will not be suggesting it. You can see here like how much it divots. It just doesn't, it's not strong enough. For at least the way I use my tufting cloth, it's not strong enough. Okay, so we're just going to pull that, and then we're going to come back to the other side. And you want to make sure you're picking like a solid strand. You're not just reweaving the strands that are broken. So like go all the way in if you need to. And I'll just hold that so it doesn't fall out again. And if some of you aren't familiar with our gripper strip frames, this is a gripper strip frame. It ordinarily, with good tufting cloth, it holds your tufting cloth so tight that you don't have to restretch through your tufting process. It's absolutely amazing. But they're like $50 for a strip, so it is, or $54 a strip, so they are a bit expensive. And I think they're probably going to be even more expensive because shipping prices are going up. I get them from the Netherlands, so they have a wee ways to go. That's my dogs having some playtime. So you see I'm tugging at it, but I'm not tugging too hard. I'm really just trying to rebuild the weave of the cloth. And I kind of will do one set of rows, and then I'll come back and do like another set of rows. And if you had both directions of your cloth broken, then you would just do the same thing going up and down as well. And hopefully you can see on the video, I'm actually going in and out of the weave. I'm not just putting straight lines across, because otherwise then you're not going to create the squares that you need for your tufting gun to sit in properly. Okay, so now I'm going to start coming back down and filling it in a little bit more. Hopefully you guys can hear me because I'm not facing my phone camera. I mean, it doesn't need to be perfect with the weave, but you just want to try and get it as best you can. So you can see on a bigger piece this would take a lot of time, but I mean, I've used rug wool here, and I definitely do not want to have to redo this because that's a very expensive rug that I would be redoing. I'd be wasting like a couple $100, so I definitely don't want that to happen. And so you can see why I like the curved needle, because it just makes it easier. I don't have to be going like across and then kind of trying to get it out through here. It just makes it a little bit easier to go also in and out of the weave. Pretty sure they sell that handicraft set in a lot of stores. I don't think I'll be stocking that anytime soon. Maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. Depends how much the shipping is for birch to New Zealand right now, because it's an Australian company. And we're just going to keep going. Oops. That's okay. That was actually just a piece. Okay. So it's getting there, but it still needs a few more. And I think it's going to need a couple up and downs in one area as well. And I'm varying which like row I start from, so that one row isn't getting overly tugged while the other one isn't. So you can see like that one's getting a little bit tugged, so I'm trying to go for a slightly different row so that we don't end up tugging too much, just one row, and then creating just another gappy hole. That's going to be problematic. Probably speed up the video at this point, I think. All right. So I'm kind of at the end of that strand. So I'm just gonna take my needle out. You can see how fuzzy this is. It's just true polyester fabric should not be fraying like that. That's not a solid strand of polyester. I don't know what the combination is, but they're saying it's polyester, but it sure doesn't seem like it. I mean, I think this is weaker than the other tufting cloth I use. You know, the regular yellow guideline tufting cloth. Even those strands seem to be stronger than these ones. So I don't understand what they're making it with. It could be that it is polyester, but the strand is not spun tight enough. So it's like not got enough twist. Oh my goodness, there we go. Sorry, that's my dog yelling. He's a little bit deaf, so he yells at everything. Okay, so now I'm going to do some ups just to go through the new weave I've made as best I can. Again, it's not like it has to be absolutely perfect. Oh, I didn't knot the end, but it's not a big deal. If you just don't pull it all the way through, you're fine. And that. So when I tuft over this, I'm going to have to be just super gentle, because it's obviously not as strong a weave as the rest of the fabric. So I'll show you the tufting over it. And you may get some strands that kind of pop out, but you can always just snip those off when on the other side. Okay. And I'll just do a couple more here. Oops. Don't stab yourself. That's not pleasant. Alright. That's pretty darn good. Otherwise I'm going to have too much cloth in there. And I'm not going to be able to tuft So I'm just going to snip those down. I realize I've only got one strand of need to rethread my gun. Okay, just going to set up another thing in the yarn. That strand out of the way. Okay, rethread this. Alright, so this is kind of the moment of truth. So I'm going to just do a little bit here. So you can see it's quite dippy in that spot. So you've got to be really gentle. Kind of popped out at me. Stretch that a bit so it's not okay. I shouldn't be tufting that close to the edge, but I am. I might actually loosen that just so I can get in my last little line, even though that's really not a smart way to do things. Okay. Restretch that. Whoops. So the other alternative is, if you're too nervous, once you get to that point, is you can use a medium Lavore punch needle and just punch through this part, so you just don't get the same, or you're not putting as much pressure on the fabric. Honestly, punch needles are great to have for difficult areas and for just stuff that kind of goes a little bit awry. So, yep, there you have it. Hope that helps you guys. Oh, we should look at the other side. Okay, so here's the other side. So you can see a little bit of stuff. I might just zoom out a bit. A little bit of stuff came out. So what I'll have to go do is go in, and once it's latex, go in and snip those little bits of the cloth off. But overall, like, you really can't tell from the side anymore. It looks perfectly fine. So I hope that helps you guys. Thank you.